Okay, quick intro on this video. This is a video about replacing the piston in your AMK compressor. I did achieve this, but for me, this has not worked. So I'm just going to be upfront and honest with you. There is some useful information in the video about taking the compressor apart. So I'm going to upload it anyway, and I hope you enjoy the content. Okay, so I've had a bit more problems in my compressor, so I'm back again. It's still doing the slow fill thing. I've just stripped it down as we had it before. So there are a few other bits in here. There is this bit where I know there is a rubber valve, and I'm also going to remove this rear cover, which is where the piston's going up and down, and just have a bit of an inspection in here, because it's not filling up quickly. I can hear the motor running. And still we're getting the error. It was fine for a few days, and then it's kind of gone back to that error. On the Discovery 3 it has a Hitachi compressor, so I'm not as familiar with these, and they do have a different piston design. And so I'm just going to have a look under here now I've taken these off and see what we can find. So literally we're doing the reveal. Keep your things safe. So that's the plate. It's a bit black, isn't it, in there? So it's not ideal, and there are some sort of spots on it. And then inside here we have got, a few signs of things. Maybe there's some degradation of what's going on. That here is quite black. So these are like one-way valves to do with the piston mechanism. And I do notice that I didn't replace this, even though it was in the kit. This seal here is very flat. So it could just be a combination of things together that are making this not pump very well. But I'm a little bit concerned to find sort of bits here as to whether there is actually some kind of sort of disintegration of anything. So I'm just going to have a bit more of an investigate and see what we can find. So that's an 8mm hex on there. Well, that's not very tight at all. Interesting how all the bits on here aren't seeming to be very tight. Okay, so it's quite hard to see in there. I'll see if I can take a picture. But this is a piston that I've actually purchased online off of eBay. It's not actually for the L494 because I couldn't actually find one. But I think that it is hopefully similarly compatible, because these compressors, the AMK compressors, have a very similar thing. But I thought even if this wasn't exactly the right piston, at least I've got hold of the correct seals, and other bits that we could potentially rebuild it with. It does look all the same. So I'm hoping that it is very similar in its design to what's in there. And it does seem to match on the length. But it looks like the shaft of the motor is pushed in here into this bearing. So there's a bearing here, and there's some kind of arrangement where there's a small amount of movement as the shaft turns that drives the piston up and down. Now I have got a hydraulic press, so I'm going to see whether I can remove this, but I'm going to think about it a little bit before I just go completely bonkers and just rip everything apart. Just seeing whether I can do it like this, just to use a mallet to gently get this to come off, which it looks like it might be doing as it's starting to separate. This is the undiscovered country for me. I've never taken this apart before. So we are actually removing what looks like the we've ended up removing the the middle of the thingy. Yeah, okay, so this also comes off once you've done that, and it's pretty dirty in there, and there's lots of carbon buildup from the brushes wearing. But the brushes look good, actually. And there's another bearing on top. And as always, you check these things. That's got a lot of smoothness in it. So this rotates round, and it has also got sort of balancer shaft in there. Okay, so this is where I've got to. I've got my press, and I'm pressing down. I've got the body back on. I've taken off the brushes at the back and the whole assembly. Then you get this kind of cylinder. Obviously the stator's gone into it to push it down, and that's where we're at now, and I'm just pushing that down to see whether it will come out. I have got some movement in here, so it's dropped down a bit. I'm just going to inspect it again and see where we're at, but seems to be the way to get it out. Okay, so I pulled that out, and the balancing the balancing thing on there is going to sort of impact with the housing which I've taken this off of now, dropped it down. I've located the hole where it's pushing out the inner bearing in there, and theoretically we are just going to drop out. Okay, this was not fantastically ideal because I seem to have damaged the piston on the inside by pressing things out. So that's come out and it's looking okay. But that's also got a bearing on it, and this bearing seemed to just come out more easily than the top bearing was sealed in harder. But it has been released, but I have damaged the piston assembly, which is not brilliant. So let's have a look. And that's what we get when we take it out. So, not fantastic. That's going to be an interesting quandary how to get this all back together, isn't it? Without damaging anything. Right, because I broke the other piston, I have got to be putting this new one in. It's pretty similar. I'd say it's a slightly less strongly built than the other one, but not much difference in it, I don't really think. And it looks like it'll be really hard because this piston ring at the top is quite wide. There is some wear I've noticed in the actual piston bore at the top, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back together now. Even if it buys me a few months, it's still kind of giving me a bit of time to save up money for a new compressor. But like I said, I prefer to repair things if I can, and if this gives me a fix for a bit, and I'm just a nerd, so I do like taking things apart and fiddling about with them. One thing to note is that the wider hole, so it's got a smaller hole and a wider hole. Wider hole needs to go where the motor goes, so that's where the concentric rotor fits in and makes the piston go up and down. So once this is in, you kind of get to there's resistance, but if you just rock it and rotate it, it starts to push in. So this is the bit I'm concerned about. Whether this is going to go in easily, but I'm going to see if I can just put enough pressure on it with my hand to push it in and get it to go in to the bore. Okay, so that has pushed in now. So I'm happy now with the way that I think this is all going. I've got to work out how to get this in without damaging anything. I think probably the problem is when you are pushing it out, it is kind of destructive by the very nature of the fact that you've got to apply pressure in here, and also it doesn't help that this bearing kind of pushed out, despite the fact that I kind of only pressed on I thought was only pressing on the shaft of the motor. So it is a difficult one to know whether that is a destructive component just by having to remove it. In theory, this is going to be easier to install without damaging, because you're going to be applying pressure from the bottom of the motor shaft through. This bit concerns me a bit, and also getting this aligned. This eccentric shaft thing aligned, but I mean it should all go in. It's not really great film, but this here is the shaft, is offset. This bearing here needs to go in a little bit so that we can get it aligned with the underneath bit. Obviously I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on, but I'm just going to drive this in a teeny tiny bit so that this is stable, then make sure it's aligned on the bottom, and then using some kind of sort of, this is just an adapter thing, drive the other side in so that it's all fixed together and it's non-moving, so that the new shaft will go into the new bearing without actually damaging it. That's my plan. So watch the space. So we've got the motor casing, so that slides on. That's very magnetic, so you have to kind of do that and get it on. I lined up down here. There was a washer in the kit that's replaced the one down here. There are further washers on the brush part, so this was pulled out, and then to put it back on you kind of got to push the brushes in and then just level it over the, gently push it down over the top. Cleaned everything out, and on reassembly used a little bit of silicone spray just to make sure all these seals are going on smoothly. You don't get the seals for this in the kit, but they're not damaged in any way. So as long as you're careful reassembling, use a bit of lubrication to get everything back together, it should be fine. Then there's this top bearing, and then you've got the top here, and it can only go one way round. So you've got the part where the connector goes in, and you've got a sort of a notch in it here that will hold it in, and then on the other side it just pushes down and seals up. And then you just got to think about where you're positioning the power connector so it's in the correct place for on reassembly. I've kind of just positioned it up here, but I might need to rotate it around a little bit. I've just got to work out exactly where it goes. And it just gently pops on. There's going to be a bit of resistance because of the magnet. You've got to get the bearing in and it all aligning properly. And the other thing to note, of course, is because this has got a mounting point on it, we've got to make sure that it's kind of lined up. It's slightly twisted in the wrong direction at the moment, so I just got to rotate that around and make sure I can get it nice and flat. So because the three mounting screws or bolts go into here, got to make sure that's correct. So the little non-return valve that came out originally, that's nice and sort of old, so that does come in the kit I've got. So it consists of a spring and a washer and the rubber. So I'm just going to get that ready. So you get a new spring, new rubber for non-return valve, and a little washer. So the washer mounts on top, and that way pushes on, and then this spring goes on top. Make sure everything's clean as you put that back in, and it shouldn't be tight to fit into there, and then that sits on top. So this is quite difficult to take out the old one, so see it's been destroyed, but I have got a new one in the kit. So that's the new one that's come in the kit. So when it's new, it's obviously not in tight, but the corrosion made it stay very tight, and obviously the corrosion's made it so that it's much harder to pull out. So the spring on the dryer will also press down on this, so there's no chance of this coming out. So that's another item that's been replaced. We've got this bit here as well where the piston is, and in our kit we have got a new washer for that. So the one that came out was very flat, which is this one. So that had gone very flat. And again, this is just going to sit in there very nicely. And then we've got our plate. I'm just going to give that a quick clean so it's clean. Very gently pop that on top. I've noticed on this one there is a blue dot here which does seem to align with the notch underneath, which seems to get the motor body into the correct alignment for the mounting. So that's actually very helpful. So some of the dots do mean something. Just going to pop the air intake back on. You can just nip this up with a 12mm open-ended spanner. And then we pop in our little stopper at the top, 8mm hex on this one. So we're nearly there. Again, just double check once you've done everything that everything is tight and sealed up properly. Right, and we're going to put our seal back on for the air dryer. So we've got to get ourselves aligned so that the exhaust valve or the exhaust silencer is at the top. And then we've got to get that into the middle. Right, so we are reassembled at this point. I hope I've put everything back together. I'm just going to have to test it on the vehicle and see whether it does actually pump and work and doesn't overheat and cause a problem. We'll see.